You guys are gonna be like, we want full Jared, we want full Kara. How come it's cut off? Not my fault. Not my fault. Okay? Skype just recorded it that way. I had no choice. So you're gonna have to deal with it.
Yo, what's good, YouTubes? This is your boy in the NYC. It's me, Ray, and this is the EDCCP. That's the Everyday City Carry podcast. And I am here with two of my special friends, special guests today, Neeve's Knives. What's up, guys?
Hi.
That's right, man. That's right, dude. We're doing this on a Saturday night. We kind of like did our own thing in the beginning of the day. Now we're getting together to kind of just share who we are as people with everybody. I remember, I don't know how I came across your channel, right?
Well, we're going to talk about that right now because guess what?
Yes.
You were our first commenter on anything.
Ever.
Ever.
Mm-hmm.
The first person ever. And we remember that because, like that was something that, like we didn't have no followers, no nothing, no comments. And then so when it happened, it's like, what? We got
like
a comment.
Everyday City Carry commented on our
Because we had been watching you already.
Yeah.
We were already
I
watching.
think
remember that.
maybe that's how it was. Maybe you commented and then I looked at your channel and
Yeah.
I knew right away, even when you didn't have a lot of subs,
Yeah.
I knew right away. I was like, these two, they just have fun on camera.
Right.
And whatever you guys get into, whether it's knives, you get into wallets or whatever, people are just going to want to see you guys interact on camera. I knew that
Right.
already. You have
Yeah.
Frankie and Bird, right?
Yeah.
But there's not really another like sort of younger couple that's doing this.
There's really not.
No.
I mean, there's the one other couple, and they have like separate channels. Therapeutic, but
And women carry knives.
But you don't
Yeah.
really see. But you don't see them. They did one video
Yeah.
where you kind of seen them, but we like we have a good time. You can put us in a box with absolutely nothing, and we'll
Yeah.
have a good time.
It's true.
Yeah. Plus, you guys are both good looking. It's all very shoppable on YouTube. A lot of people don't like talking about that in the EDC community, but I talk about everything. So
Well,
that's
it's
one of
'cause,
the things. I knew
before
right
the
away
video
that you
started-
guys were gonna do something. I knew right away, even back then. That's why I said that.
That's
And
awesome.
I tried to periodically, because I don't watch a lot of knife content as much, like on my free time. Like when I see someone's video pop up on my feed, and it's
Yeah.
like a homie or a friend, and then I want to
Right.
support them, I do it. But the algorithm can like sometimes not suggest anybody to you.
For sure.
Yes.
But with you guys, every time I saw your video, I always tried to make sure that I would say something, kind of critique the video to kind of like,
Yeah.
because in the beginning, it's hard, man.
Yeah, and you want that feedback.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's hard. You want meaningful feedback.
Anything.
Um,
Everyone just always says, hey, good job, great video. And you're like, come on, I know it wasn't that great. Like,
Yeah.
give me something to improve upon.
That-
you
yeah.
know?
That's why our first giveaway, we actually asked we wanted somebody to come up with something bad. Like,
Yeah.
tell us
Yeah,
what we're
that
doing
was
wrong.
the requirement.
Because you're not going to tell me we're doing everything right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do that.
Yeah.
what I
So-
noticed with the podcast, right, is that I've said this so many times whenever I've guests on, is that my viewership with the podcast is lower than what I regularly do. But
Yeah.
however, the people that watch it really love it, man. Like I have this one guy, I don't know if he comments on your videos. His name is Seems Logical. Dude, he
Okay,
leaves
no, I
like
just
20 paragraph meaningful comments.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
We got some people.
And
like that.
I will
That's
like,
awesome.
he will talk about like, yo, at 2 minutes, you talked about this, fight
Well, he'll
you had with
timestamp it.
well, sometimes, but he'll just
That's awesome,
basically
though.
talk about the topic. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is awesome. And the reason why I started this podcast anyway is I listen to a lot of podcasts, right?
Yeah, me too.
Mainly like Joe Rogan and his crew,
Me too.
right?
Yeah, we listen
do
to
too.
all the same ones.
Yeah.
I just talked to Blade Banter about this, and I was like, do you guys know about the Apex Pass Round group, by
Yeah,
the way?
we know about it.
Mhm.
Okay. This is basically like me vetting you guys if we're going to invite you in right now. I mean, no pressure, right? But this is what we're talking about, is that like Joe Rogan, right? When podcasts weren't a thing, he just kept doing it and grew this
Yep.
massive empire,
Yep.
right? Then he realized that some of his friends who were comedians were funny. They all podcast together. They do each other's podcasts, and they have the biggest podcast in the world, right?
Yes.
And I was like, why couldn't this happen in the EDC community? Right? Because there are people, like, even though like our sub counts are similar, there are people that watch you guys that don't know about me and vice versa, right?
For sure, yeah.
Exactly. Like JT, when they shout me out, I get like a bump of like 30 people or whatever. Yep. So I was like, why don't we all have like maybe a 30 to 1 hour podcast each week? Like if Neeve Knives had one, JT had one, because there is more than enough people in YouTube. And if we all had podcasts and we guested on each other's podcasts, it would just bring everybody up together.
It's a huge community. It's a huge community. And the way I think about it is when I look at some other channels, right? Like say Nick Shabazz. Yeah. Like he's almost at 100,000 subscribers. So that's, 80, however many, 99,000, whatever it is, subscribers that I don't have.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's, that's a beautiful.
Just you? We?
Just me.
What happened to we?
But and then like other people have like even more than that.
Yeah.
And I think that's like obviously we all want, like it'd be nice to have those people watch us.
Yeah.
But that's just just shows.
Well, just think about how many people go to Blade Show and all those things. The community is huge. It's just the community on YouTube. It could be bigger, and it's just about reaching those people. And I think it's funny because what you're doing with the podcast is something we had actually talked about.
Yeah, we did.
A long time ago.
You guys should absolutely do one. You guys should 100.
Well, we watched Joe Rogan, Theo Von,
dude,
Chris
it's the best.
All those people.
Yeah.
And it's entertaining in a different way because it's something you don't have to watch to listen to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can just, and I love
you can
that.
be working and just listen.
Yeah.
You feel kind of connected to them, right?
You do.
Yeah,
You
like
do.
you're
What
there
I
for the
want
conversation.
to do with the people that watch me, because I'm not a big technical guy. Everyone knows that. But the reason why I have even gotten some followers is that like I have a lot of community interaction. Like I'll literally comment back to anyone if they email me or they DM me.
Yeah.
And I talk about real shit. Like I talk about my life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Me too. Yeah.
Which is what Joe Rogan and these guys are doing. They're talking about what's going on in their lives. They promote each other's stuff. And I was telling, because Blade Banter, he is, I think he's my fourth guest, right? This dude was amazing on the podcast.
That's awesome.
Okay.
That's
like
awesome.
the questions were quick. I thought he was going to be nervous, but he was really good. And I said, you have to start one because the Apex Pass Around group is over 30 plus people now, including Nick Shabazz, including Cedric and Ada Gear and Outdoors. We have a lot of people are in there. JT,
awesome.
Slicey, everybody's in there that we watch, that we know,
That's
right?
Awesome. Yeah.
And I was like, and he manages all that. Like I have knives on me right now. Like he knows when I got it, when I should send it to the next person. Like he manages all that. And I was like, why don't you do a podcast and just talk about, how you do all this? So he's going to start one. You guys should start one.
We thought about it. We almost did. And then you did. And we were like, he stole it from us.
Yeah.
Stole a fucking idea.
No, but here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? With the podcasting, it actually works in our favor if the more people have it. Because like I'm going to get certain followers, right? Like maybe like a younger demographic from like more like city, like living, right?
Right.
And people that are interested in maybe cinematography and things like that. Like, but then at the same time, they might get to introduce to the EDC community through me, but they might get really into it and start watching other stuff. Like they'll look for Neeve's Knives, for JT.
Right.
You guys have podcasts already.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, oh shit, I'm going to sub there. And the way I do it, I listen to so many podcasts, right? It just depends on what I feel like listening to the day.
Sure. Yeah.
And why couldn't people do that with Everyday Carry like podcasts? Like there isn't really any Everyday Carry lifestyle podcast. Everyone just talks very gear heavy, right? And that's not what I want to do. I wanted to talk about,
Well, one reason why I like Joe Rogan, I like certain podcasts is because one, they express how they feel, how they think of world, life, views, whatever it is, right? Doesn't matter. Whatever the topic is, they say how they feel about it. And a lot of times, it's the same way I think about it. or the same way I feel. And sometimes it doesn't, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether we agree or disagree. It's just the point of hearing somebody else's opinion and view on something. And sometimes they'll have people on the show that went down a path or know so much, like some really intelligent people. And I want to know the facts. You know what I mean? Like sometimes they have statistics or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And
or like the hunters and all that, right?
What's that?
Like hunters, the bow hunters and all that. I love listening to those guys, dude. Even though I live in the city, I'm like so curious about doing that. Like I came from the country because I came from the Philippines. Like we had like one channel TV when I was growing up and shit. You know what I mean? It wasn't very technologically advanced.
Right. And here you are.
We had a channel. It was for cartoons. It was for news. Like, you know, so, but
see, I got my views on stuff, you know. Yeah. And I don't care what anybody thinks about them. And I like that about some of the podcasts because it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like we should all, like, I guess in the world or just whatever, you know, care about other people's opinions or views. And it doesn't matter if it's different. Right? Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean we can't get along.
Exactly.
You
know? I love that.
This is so wholesome. Yeah. This is so wholesome right now.
What do you mean? Like
you two are gonna change the world. Yeah.
Changing the world.
Dude, I you know, like the way you guys
peace, man.
I'm so happy to have you guys on right now because I knew this. I knew that you guys were gonna get to wherever. Let me ask you, let's go back to that a little bit, right? What made you guys want to start a YouTube channel? And what made you guys think about doing it together?
Well, you know,
no, I'm going to answer this.
Okay, there you go. Go ahead.
He watches the knife videos. Okay, he likes the knife videos. I like the knives. Not so much. I'm not a huge knife video watcher. Okay, but he is. So I get to watch them because of him. Watch bits and pieces, and he wanted to do the thing, and physically could not handle the technology without me. Yeah. And here we are. Okay. I had to do it. Yeah. So to this day, he's never uploaded a YouTube video.
Never.
Really?
Or edited a video.
Never.
Hey, sometimes that's what you need.
Maybe I might have taken out a little clip because she's trying to teach me. The second she walks away, forget it all. Like I'm not good with that stuff whatsoever. I'm hands-on. Like I grew up in construction and building, working with my hands. So
you
that's
guys are in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
not
I
in
know
the city though.
I noticed that you guys are like wearing like sweatshirts and stuff. In New York City, it's normally fucking cold. For some reason, from some freak reason, today was 68 degrees.
No, we've had those days too.
It's weird, dude.
This is the first
weird.
Yeah. It snowed today.
It's been like 50s.
This is the first time, and it's January, so right now we should be literally under snow. Right now, we should be under snow.
Yeah.
But it just now snowed today, and this is like the first time, and it's so
weird.
Fucking global warming is real.
No, that's not what global warming means.
It does, though.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
It doesn't.
It does.
All right, so back to the way the channel started, right? You wanted to do it, but you didn't know how to edit or shoot. You wanted help. You helped him, right? First of all, names, Kara and
Jared.
Kara.
I knew
Kara.
Sorry, Kara and Jared. I knew that. I wanted to make sure so that my audience would know.
Yeah, right? Yeah, sure.
Do you know how to spell my name?
No.
RAI.
Ah, that's good. You did it.
I told you.
I didn't say it wasn't.
I said this before. I said he spells his name RAI.
Yeah, I just said Ray. Is that your whole name, just Ray?
Name is Raymond, but my mom
that's what I said.
The way there is a Latin saint, right? Catholicism that protects unborn children. His name is Saint Raymond, and it's spelled the same way as me because I was the fourth kid, and my mom was like, "Oh, I want him to turn out okay and shit." Like,
my dad's name's Raymond.
Yeah.
He's passed away now, but my dad's name's Raymond. My middle name is Ray.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that. I don't know if you guys know this, but the reason I got into knife collecting was because my dad passed away. And I was kind of like, I was a DJ for 10 years before that. I had really success with it.
Nice.
But I sort of had a falling out with my team and my partner. So I kind of just went back to the corporate world, started working in offices again. And when my dad passed away, I was kind of like in this, like I wanted to do creative stuff. I just didn't know what it was.
All right.
You know what I mean? I was actually YouTubing since 2006 on a different channel.
Oh, wow.
It's so weird. I was doing like breakdancing, glow sticking videos. I was
think
huge.
I heard you talk about this before.
And what happened was I saw this knife, right? I was just looking at folding knives. I was looking up like a tactical bag, right? Because I was like, oh, I want stuff where I could put wires and and tactical bags have a lot of slots, right?
Yeah, compartments.
And I saw, and this same guy was reviewing folding knives too. And I was like, oh shit, let me look into it. And then I found a knife with the same name as my dad. And it's from Italy.
I've seen the story on that.
$1,000 knife. I had to like save up for a while. I picked it up. It was called the Clemente, same name as my dad. From that point on, and I made that video, I never even though my channel has kind of become more lifestyle than just knife reviewing, like I've never not carried a knife. Like never.
Right. Yeah.
Like, unless I'm going to like court or something, or I'm going to like a city building. Never. I always carry one, even though
I try to sneak them in anyway. You always got to sneak one in.
I got caught going into court with a bullet one time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was an accident. I didn't know it was in my pocket. But but no, I grew up like my dad was he was really crazy. He wound up getting paralyzed and a bunch of stuff. He wound up passing away. But before that, when I was a little kid, he was into knives, and we had a huge knife collection. And it was mostly fixed blades. There were some folders, but I was really young, so folders weren't what they are today. They were way different. It was like buck 110s and stuff like that. And when I was a real little kid, my dad gave me a pocket knife, and it was a really big back lock, but I mean, he was huge for how big I was. I was really little. So this thing folded up, closed up, and my pocket was like this big. It was massive. So it just weighed my pocket down. Well, my grandma saw it. And I'm walking around, I got this huge knife in my pocket. And she freaks out because she sees what it is. She sees me pull it out. I can barely even open the thing. And I wrestle it open. She sees it, and I'm damn near carrying a sword, because I'm a little kid. And she's freaking out. Then my dad starts yelling at her to leave me alone. I can have whatever I want. And, like, from that day forward, like, with knives and the guns, like, me and my dad were just into it, like, huge. And my first knife collection, I don't have any of the knives now because they wound up getting stolen. Like I lived in a bad area and everything. But then after that, I started collecting again, right back from square one, because all of them got stolen. So I went back to square one, started saving them again. So I've been into knives since I was 5 years old. Just the collection has changed. You know what I mean?
Well, the collection that we have now was started purely just between us two. So when we came together, I hadn't had a knife since I was a kid, like around my brother and stuff, but I was always that tomboy who liked those sort of things. So it wasn't very hard to get me into it again, No. And so we kind of started together from nothing. We started out meeting very poor and things like that. So everything that we have built up knife collection wise has been just between us. The first knife I got him was a Kershaw Zing, an assisted Kershaw Zing, and he got me a pink assisted Smith & Wesson.
I didn't think she was going to get into it.
I carried it every day from the day he got it for me, and then I got a little assisted Kershaw, and then I went to Rake, and here we are.
Yeah, I had a big collection like before me and her met. And like a huge collection, like a really big collection, and some really expensive knives. And I went through some real hard times, and I had to sell them off one by one, all the way down to like the last one. I think I have like a couple left, and they're like at my mom's. She lives a couple hours from here.
Most of them are broken.
No, I have a couple like decent ones, but yeah, some of them are all messed up. But I have a couple regular ones, like some decent ones, but they're down there anyways. So. But me and her started like basically at no knives and started again. And I was watching channels, and seeing and it basically fired up my where I left off. Yeah. You know what I mean? From knife collecting back to, now. And it's just slowly started growing. I started meeting people and talking to people in the community and realizing how tight the community is.
Dude, that was the biggest thing. It's crazy. It's crazy how nice people are.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
There's no other community like it. I can guarantee if I had gotten into piano playing on YouTube, I play the piano. So if I had gotten into piano playing on YouTube, I don't think somebody would be mailing me a $3,000 piano.
Right.
No.
Just so I could check it out.
Right. Yeah. Check these keys out.
I know that's kind of a weird comparison, but I'm just saying it's like people do things.
You can't even imagine how it's nice. And some people, the way that they'll help other people like when they're down and out, or whatever it is. Like we stick together. I think that's a great thing to be a part of. And you can tell when somebody's kind of genuine in the community and who's kind of flaky and whatever. But it's great when you meet the good people and you see who sticks around and who stays, for the community. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that has really kept me in, right? I actually haven't bought any knives since the Civivi Elementum came out, right? And basically the Apex Pass Around group, which I was invited to like last year, has basically like kept this channel alive, at least for like knife content, because they send me a few knives a month. I get to check it out. I send it to the next person. Awesome. It's just crazy that type of thing exists, right? Like I watch tech YouTube a lot. I learn about phones. I learn about just gear. I still watch DJ stuff and music production stuff sometimes still. I watch a lot of different stuff, right?
Yeah, so do we. And we're into a lot of different things.
Right. And what I notice with the subcultures within those things is like, it's just not as tight-knit as the EDC community, even though the EDC community is huge. It's massive.
Yeah,
it's massive. It's massive. But I feel like, I don't know how you guys feel where you live, but I feel like even though it's massive, I do know there are a few. For me, it's a little different because I live in New York City.
Yeah.
I have not met one person that's into like into EDC gear like the way we are. You know what I mean?
We have a couple people. We had this one guy we saw on Fair & Forge, and he actually had the same.
No. Forged and Fire.
Sorry, Fair & Forge.
Oh, Forged and Fire.
Yeah, Fair & Forge. Forged and Fire. Sorry. Yeah.
Forged and Fire. So Filipino guys on that. Doug Marcado.
So anyway, but the guy's name though was spelled identical to mine.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird because my name's spelled kind of unique, and I've never seen anybody in my life with the name spelled the way I do. It's usually spelled different. So we thought that was weird. Then it showed he was in the same city we were. And like
same town,
town.
The same,
we could see, like they showed his street and everything. We knew right where it was. Like it was crazy. So we got him on Instagram, and we kind of talked to him. We were gonna meet up, didn't end up working out. He wound up moving because he was in the Navy and blah blah blah. But that was one thing that was like a close call. We almost got because he was gonna let us come by and make a knife.
Yeah,
that would have been crazy.
And we just never did because we just didn't have the transportation at the time. But it's hard to meet like people and just run into them and find that connection of EDC. Like I work at Starbucks, for instance, so I see a lot of customers throughout the day. And I'm telling you, when I stare at people's pockets and look for clips.
Yeah.
Just so I can go.
Or if they've got the paracord bracelet, I'm like, that's you're one of us. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, usually.
Or I see them wallets. I'm like, oh, is that a rich wallet? That's like knives.
Exactly.
There's another guy though that actually lives in Chicago. He's all over like he's loaned a bunch of knives to Metal Complex and a bunch of the channels, and that's Spirited Whiskey. I don't want to just say his name and shout out, but anyways, he's in Chicago. We're supposed to meet up with him eventually. Yeah. And check out. He's got some badass customs, like that's crazy knives, like that I can only dream about. But he gets them on the regular. Knife
you have on your table, like right now, like if you don't have it near you, just tell me.
I got everything near me. Not at all.
What'd you say? The craziest?
Yeah, like
we got
like that's gonna make people.
One of those guys. One of those guys, Jeff, he sends a lot of knives to Metal Complex, but he sent us
I know that
Medford
to keep.
Yeah, to keep.
Yeah, he gave it.
He gave it to her. Really,
dude. Sometimes, I tell Kelly, I'm like, look, you got to be cute on camera and get me some free shit.
What are you gonna do? Hey.
I'm saying because people love
got a lot of really cool knives.
Someone sent me this mini SOCOM. It's from '99. They don't make the minis anymore, but they're supposed to come out with more. But this was cool. This is really a really generous gift because these are hard to get.
In Chicago, are they crazy? What are the knife laws like in Chicago?
So in the city,
Downtown.
in the downtown limits, it's very strict. It's like 2.5 inches
3
or
inches.
less.
3 inches. You have to have under 3 inches
It's
downtown.
like they do the palm thing. Is that what they do?
Yeah, basically,
They do the
the palm thing. But that's just downtown, not just Chicago. So like everywhere else, it's okay. You can have whatever you want.
Yeah, we don't have like an inch limit. It's like 5 or 5.5. It's so long that you wouldn't be carrying it as a folder.
And this is the thing, is that you can have guns here. You just have to have a void card. We're not far from Wisconsin, which is just an ID. So you just have to have your ID and you can have guns. So like with autos and balisons and stuff like that, for Illinois, you have to have a void card to carry them.
But
You can have
You
them.
just have to pay for a card that says I can carry this.
Right, and that's just literally you send out and then they mail it back to you in like 3 months. But Wisconsin, you go right across the border, you do whatever the hell you want. So it depends on where you're at. This knife right here, I really, really like. She got me this for Christmas. This is the Tuya NV2. This thing is sweet.
Amazing.
But yeah, I really like this knife. This knife is so badass. This thing is it's crazy smooth.
I want to talk a little bit about because I have seen your growth from the beginning, and dude, you are both your Instagram and your YouTube is surpassing some of the people that you've started with. You know what I mean? You guys are actually like above like my viewership on YouTube right now. I don't know if you guys know that.
No,
but was there a point where all of a sudden a big explosion happened, or did it just happen gradually? What have you guys been focusing more on lately?
I can tell you exactly what it was.
Can you?
Metal Complex.
Oh yeah, Metal Complex. He really has supported us. He's been supporting us throughout the way. He's over 5,000 subscribers.
He's 8,000.
Yeah, he's getting huge.
Yeah, he was supporting us and shouting us out from about the time he was under 5,000 at the time he started supporting us, and he did it on every live stream. Every single thing.
He blew up. Like he was at like 5,000 subs, and it seemed like in 2 months. Yeah. Like he was just like every day, it's like, brrr, like.
Well, you know what happened? You remember the Nick Shabazz contest? You remember that?
Oh yeah.
Right? Okay, so I remember he got second place, right?
Yes.
And I remember he released a video the next day, and he was so fired up, right? Yeah. And I was like, I knew that. Because this guy releases so many videos per day.
But how can you keep up with that?
I don't know.
Keep up with that.
I don't know. It takes me forever to make a video.
Me too, because I edit, and it's just like I get crazy about the editing, and it's.
What do you guys edit on? Is it like a laptop or a phone, or like how do you guys do it?
So first of all, it's not you guys, it's me. Just look.
Okay. All right.
Second of all, it's on I actually do it on Jared's phone.
Yeah.
Which is a huge hassle because. Well, it's a hassle because it's his phone. So I need him present because the same application on my phone, which is an iPhone, it crashes all the time. It's horrible.
What application are you using?
I'm using the pro version of KindMaster.
That's what I use.
Do you use it on an iPhone?
I use it on an Android, but
on an iPhone.
I've used it on an iPhone before.
So I have the newest iPhone 11. My phone broke and I got the new
It doesn't work on that?
It crashes.
It works, but it like literally keeps just like kicking you out.
Yeah, like if I fast forward too fast through the clip, crash. If I
try to uninstall and reinstall it again.
Oh, I've tried it all.
Everything.
My dad and my mom both are in computer jobs. He's a programmer, she's a web designer, and all that type of stuff. So I've even gone to them about it and tried to fix these issues. I also cannot upload a video to YouTube from my phone. It won't work. Yeah, so we have to be together. It's some of the reason we have a hard time pushing out content as fast as everyone else is because we have to be together to make the video. Yeah. Our schedule's got to line up for that. Yeah. And then it has to line up for him to be here long enough for me to get through the process of editing and posting, which, as you know, when you're doing editing, you can get a little manic and OCD about certain things. So it's a process.
I've got to learn how to edit, basically.
Yes.
I've got
just learn basic stuff. I taught here's the thing, right? I've been using KindMaster or KineMaster. People pronounce it in both ways.
It is.
Yeah, I've been using it since 2017.
Yeah.
And I've been using it like hard. I've been really pushing. If you watch my videos, there are certain things you're like, how did he do that in KineMaster, right? Like I have been doing it for a long time, so I just do things really fast. I just know where everything is. Like I have apps that I use outside to make font maybe, or to make like graphics, right? So I know how to do it, and I just showed Kelly basically like a simplified way, and she got it right away. Like she was making vlogs right away because Kelly's a personal trainer. She's been boxing for 6 years, so sometimes she wants to make videos. Yeah, she works at Equinox. It's like crazy.
That's awesome.
She got fired from a job that she had for 18 years, and then gets hired at Equinox as a personal trainer, which is her dream job.
We saw that video.
Insane. But she likes to do like vlogs sometimes. Dude, that's another thing that you guys could do is maybe like, I know it's hard to make content though because you have to be together, but vlogging stupid things.
Yeah, right. Well, we thought about, because we were thinking about, and I just want to roll one thing by it. We got a hold of Nick Shabazz, and I asked him if he would mind because I just wanted his permission. I know it doesn't matter, but I wanted his permission if he minded if I reviewed his channel, right? So I figured, and I'm wanting to do it because I want to do that. He's got a big name and everything, but I figured that might be able to open up a door to reviewing and like basically watching other stuff,
reviewing, reacting, vlogging,
basically.
Things like
that is a big thing on YouTube.
I know.
There are plenty of people that have made a career or a YouTube career, advising the public viewer if a channel is legit or not. You know what I mean? I watch those. I watch a lot of that stuff to kind of just get a sense of what direction I should take.
We like a lot of funny stuff too, though.
Oh, like, dude, that's my favorite.
Right. And like we watch this one guy, Leon Lush. You ever seen him? Leon Lush.
Maybe. What does he do?
He basically reacts to people's
makes fun of channels.
Yeah, he watches channels that are bullshit, basically. And they lie and they do stupid vlogging stuff, but it's ridiculous. And it basically like tended towards 12-year-olds. Yeah. But they're adults, you know what I mean? And so he makes fun of them. And like
all those channels with the young guys, and they're just
and the pretty girls that are like trying to be sexy, but it's hilarious though because he's saying exactly what you're thinking.
I think I know. He's talking about. I know this guy.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah,
he's hilarious. So like, but we were thinking we actually recorded one where we watched a video. And it was a video.
It was like a My Strange Addiction thing, and we watched it, and I edited it.
That stuff is amazing.
So we did a reaction video to it. I edited it in a very simplified manner, just to get the screen on the screen, see what it would look like with us reacting, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, but
I had some things to work out with lining the audio up between so that it would show that us pausing the video on the screen in real time and all that.
Yeah.
But
it looked good though. Like it was really good. I enjoyed it.
So you guys were watching it on a phone while being on camera, or how were you doing it?
So I had an iPad. We were watching it on the iPad while the phone was filming us. And then what I did is I just I screen recorded the video as we were pausing it. So it had all the pauses built in. And then I just exported that screen recorded version to my editor. And then
but the audio is kind of funky. I can see how the audio would be funky because screen recording doesn't usually take the audio, right?
Well, no, mine does. So it does take the audio, but we need our audio. You know what I mean? So I kind of had to mesh the two together and get them to line up.
What did you do? You extracted audio from the iPad video to...
Right. When I screen recorded it, the audio got recorded with it. We listened to it through headphones so that the audio on the phone wouldn't have double video audio.
Right.
So it worked out actually okay. It just was a little goofy. Something got messed up.
I've seen other channels do it like that though. Like you'll see the microphone in their ear and they're listening to it. So I know they did it just like we did. And when I rewatched it, it looked good. Like anybody could watch it,
Because the thing is, and I'm just gonna say it. Sometimes only knife content really starts to bore me, and maybe that's just me, but like the same view of the table and the guy being like, this has M390 and G10, and you're just like, Okay, I could have read all this on Blade HQ, and I could have read it a lot faster than you said it in 30 minutes. And I don't mean to be rude, but sometimes why can't we have entertainment just because we like knives? I don't.
Well, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, how I feel about that, right? I think that I feel similar to you. I usually like channels that do a more cinematic thing, like Cedric and Ada. Gearing out
I love that.
Advanced Knife Bro, I absolutely love him. Mr. Old Man, who I've had on my channel, does cool stuff too because he's a photographer. But I think that, let's say I wanted to research a knife that I wanted to buy that was a little pricey.
You need those.
I would probably watch one of those. You know, like
absolutely.
16-minute.
That's what I like. See, I like those channels because, like, when I'm actually going to look up a knife. Yeah, I want to know. I might not need to know the specs, but there's certain specs I do want to know. I want to know how thin behind the edge it is, and there's little certain things I want to know. But one thing I want to know is I want to know what you don't like about it, what's bad about it, what's great about it. I want to know those details. Right. So we thought about like starting to do like when we do future knife content, maybe just doing the good parts and the bad parts about the knife. Go over a couple of the details. The details we know you need to know, like they probably aren't going to be on the spec sheet, and then that's it, and make it a 10-minute video because the statistics or what's called the analytics don't lie. I mean, they're telling us
people drop off. You know,
at a certain time.
And under. So, you know, and why is that? It's because at a certain point it is just blah 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 blah. You know,
you've seen what you needed to see.
You know, you've gotten the point, and that's usually after the specs in a quick opinion, and then once that opinion takes on a certain direction of getting really niche into knives and those particulars, you lose 90% of the people who are just wanting to buy the knife even, and you keep, you know, your fans, your subscribers, that core group of people that wants to watch you. So I think it would be good to continue doing videos that showcase you as well as the things you love, because you keep people for that.
You guys are actually doing that. So I'm going to take like maybe an outside perspective. Like, let's say I was just a viewer watching you guys. I can tell you right now that I am probably watching your channel because I like the way you two interact with each other. Right. That's not very present in the EDC world right now. Frankie and Bird do it sometimes, but they're not front-face camera usually. It's kind. I always think about you know, if you wanted to do content creation as a career, right? Because my brother is a director in the Philippines. He's got a huge channel. He reviews tech. He has videos with millions of views on it. Like, But the way I think about it is, you want your viewers to kind of like watch you as if you're a sitcom, right? And in 5 years, the people that have stuck by you for those 5 years are basically going to watch you doing whatever you want. You know what I'm saying?
You get those comments. You get the comments that I've had it from multiple people. They're like, I didn't even come here for the knife. I just came here to watch you two. And you guys. And that's a great comment to get because it tells me that we don't have to do knives. And it
doesn't matter what we do.
And I just want to point out too, you said the thing about Frankie and Bird not showing their faces.
They do sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes.
They're not against it, but what I pushed really hard in the beginning, he wanted to just focus on all knife, and I pushed him. And I pushed to have our faces in it, at least for the intro, because I think there's something different about watching people interact when you can see the body language versus just the hands.
But I know the difference though too. Like,
so I can give you that look when you interrupt.
But I know the difference though too. Like, say if I'm talking about a knife, right? And I'm literally talking about the knife. You want to see what I'm talking about.
It's a
and you want to see it clear. And you want, like, if I'm way back here with a knife talking to you about it, you're not looking at that damn knife. You need it to be right here, right? But now if I'm reacting to it, like me, like opening it up, checking out for the first time, you might want to see my facial expressions and see, because I can hear certain people when they do unboxings, and I can hear the fakery in their voice.
Like, oh wow, this is great.
They're trying to sound excited and stuff like that, and that's something me and her just don't have. Like,
I
love
can't
knives,
do it
but we
either.
get excited about it. If it's gonna excite us, it's gonna excite us. And And to capture that on film, like, it cracks us up when we watch ourselves. We'll watch ourselves and we think it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Do you guys watch a lot of your own stuff?
Well, we have to. Because
I am so narcissistic. I'm completely on. I watch my stuff all the time.
I watch my editing is what I do. I like to go back and watch my little intros.
Yeah.
When we first upload it, we have to watch it right when we first upload. So while everybody else is watching it,
right?
What's that?
Let's see if there's anything wrong, right?
Yeah.
Yes, right. We had that actually happen.
Yeah.
We had one that got glitched up, and people saw it like not the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And nobody told us. We won't have to watch it.
I know. Everyone was like, great video, man. That was awesome.
Dude, people tell me, they tell me, they're like, bro, at 16 or whatever, like at 7 minutes, like something happened where the audio was funny. I just usually leave it though, because one thing that I learned, right, in the beginning, the very first video I made took me like, it was so good that it took me so long to make it. I put ideas
in
it.
Suit.
Dude,
I remember.
That was my very first video on YouTube.
The ZT.
I had to wear an Iron Man suit to do the ninja. I had to buy a churro. I had to do all this crazy shit. And like, it took me so long. I forgot which channel told me this. This is a channel. I think it was Roberto Blake. He like gives advice to people that are starting YouTube. He was like, perfection is poison on YouTube.
Right.
He's like, every video is not going to be perfect.
Right.
Just keep making content, and you're going to be better at making content your own way.
Yeah.
And you know what? You guys have been doing that, because I remember I commented on a video that you guys did. I forgot which one it was, and I give like a pretty good critique. I was like, man, I'm like proud of you guys. This is like, you guys have stepped up the quality. The studio, the banter has become more natural, right? Yeah. It's just really, really cool that I watched you guys from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I knew it.
It's so awesome.
I knew it right away. I was like, these guys are gonna kill it. Like, I know it, yo. I know it.
That's really what your comment was too.
Yeah. And that's awesome. Is
there anything that you guys,
everybody?
I mean, I'm trying. Is there anything that you do differently now, in terms of like strategy that you didn't do in the beginning with your channel?
I can say one group of things is we figured out how to do a video more properly to where it'll be easier to edit. Like with pausing and just stupid things like that, or like having things set up a certain way, lighting. I mean, so many things, the sound quality, because all that matters. Like when we watch an old video, it looks like an old video.
It looks like it's from 1982.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I don't understand, because it wasn't 1982.
It looked so good.
At the time, we were like, this lighting is dope.
Yeah,
and then like,
it looks awesome.
I'm looking at it now like, this looks like it was filmed in like my grandma's basement or something. And so, yeah, definitely just overall studio quality. I mean, you see, we've, done all of this. This used to just be an album shelf, and we put the time and the care into, doing that stuff. And I think it makes us more excited to film. And to be honest with you, the biggest change we made is, I mean, at least for me, I can say I just don't overthink it anymore. I just go into it and I do the edits that it needs, and I do a little bit of flair. I don't spend too much time anymore trying to do funny edits, because I think that we handle the entertainment and the edits serve their purpose. And if it accentuates it, it accentuates it. But I don't need to do it. You know what I mean? And it makes it natural, because real is what people want at the end of the day.
That's what we want to be for the most part. At the end of the video, we want to know that we had fun, people are having fun watching us, and that we're just being real and being ourselves. I don't want to bullshit nobody on nothing. I don't want to bullshit a laugh. I don't want to bullshit a comment. I want it all to be genuine.
Yeah, someone asked us if we were scripted one time.
Yeah, we couldn't.
I was very offended.
Do you do like bullet points or something like that?
Not at all. Not at all.
Not at
Your
all?
video right now was the biggest bullet points I have, and we haven't touched one of them.
Yeah. No, we
but
haven't.
let me ask you that. we're talking about it right now. Like, how does it feel to do a podcast for the first time? It's great, right?
Oh, dude, it's awesome. And I watch or listen and watch lots of podcasts.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I was really excited about this, like really excited. Yeah. And to me, it was like, you know, like kind of like if I was going on Joe Rogan or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, this is my first podcast. I got to do it right. You know, I'm screaming at her for 3 days. We got 36 hours and 28 minutes left, and we're doing the podcast.
That's so crazy.
You made my life hell, just so you know.
That's so crazy. You guys are natural on it, man. A natural, for real. Completely natural. Have you guys gone to any shows or anything? Like any?
No.
Me neither.
Are you gonna go to the next one, the Atlanta one, or SHOT Show or any of that?
June?
Like, I kind of can't because, well, one, you know, I just started this business with my family, the CBD business, and I'm working like 6 days a week. I took a salary cut because I want to put that back into the business to make it grow faster. It's just, you know, a basic business rule. It's like, I'm not going to take a huge salary so we can grow inventory and things like that, right? Also, like, I have a case right now with Uber.
Yeah.
Oh, no, like, I got hurt. I actually had shoulder surgery.
Okay.
Passenger. I was the passenger.
I live in Uber, so.
And a car crashed into it. And it was like, I'm trying not to leave New York City.
Damn.
Just so that I could wait for the case to be over. There's that. And I can tell you this, when that case is over, bro, everybody getting Sabenzas, man. I'm gonna be rich. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna drop like 10 different, like Damascus, you know?
Okay,
no, but that's
only a knife nerd would say that instead of rain money. You're talking about raining Sabenzas and
people are like, oh shit.
Everybody's getting stabbed.
I just go to Blade Show and like they roll the carpet and I just like throw Sabenzas at people. You know what I mean?
We're trying to go. We really want to go. I got a problem because like I'm trying to get because I don't have my license right now. That's why I'm taking so many Ubers. So I'm fighting to get my license back right now. I just gotta pay for it. I've already went through all the court bullshit. So I just gotta pay for it now. And so if we can do that before then, you know, and the car thing and everything, we might go. Otherwise, we'd have to fly and then rent a car. We might do that and that's only if we can get the funds up by then, which we are trying. But
it's
you know,
tough, man. It's
every
tough.
month comes closer, and every month, you know, it gets less and less likely. But if I can just have the first part done with that, I'd be excited. But I'd love to go. I'm gonna try. We're still gonna try. We're still shooting for it. As of right now, we are going or shooting for it. But ask me in a month or two, we'll see.
You know what's funny? I have never had a driver's license. And I'm 39 years old.
Have you? Well, I know you grew up in the Philippines, but how long have you lived in New York?
I grew up here actually. So in the Philippines, I was there till I was about 7, and then I came here when I was, around 1987. And I'm 39 now. But in New York City, it's like you don't need a car.
You don't need one. Yeah, my aunt lives there, and she does have a car, but she only does because she lives right past the Connecticut border, technically, and she works there. So she commutes, but she mostly takes the train anyway. You don't need it.
You really, it's a huge expense, and also like with parking, it's a nightmare. Like if you get towed, you got to pay all this money. So I've like never ever had one, and people are like, what?
No, that makes sense to me because when we go to the city, I prefer to take a train and then a taxi or whatever. Like, you don't really want to drive to the city and pay $50 for parking near Michigan Avenue. And it's just, you just don't, there's no need. We have the L system of trains, the L trains in Chicago that you can get pretty much everywhere in. But where we live, you need a car to do anything. You need a car to have a job.
Well, there's buses. Like I take buses. I take buses and Ubers everywhere.
It's hard though. Uber without Uber.
Right now, depending on where you're going, because obviously like buses take the big roads. That's what any city is. So so you might have to do some walking and stuff. And so like I spent like in my last job like every day I had to wake up like hours early and then walk forever and then get dropped off at another place to get on another bus to go to another place to walk. Like, and it was crazy. And so like now I'm basically to get to work, I take Ubers
Yeah.
You know, but I still take city buses sometimes to other places, but that expense is massive.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insanity.
What do you guys do? Go ahead. Sorry, finish.
I was just gonna say, otherwise I would have had my license by 10 times over by now.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for having to pay for Ubers, you know.
What do you guys do for fun? Like aside from the knife thing, from creating content, is there any? Do you guys watch TV? Do you guys go out and do stuff like
Honestly, we really right now, since we're saving for that and trying to like hold every expense, we don't really do too much right now. I mean,
no, we do so much. What are you talking about? We just don't do things that cost money. I'm sitting here playing with magnets right now. We do so much. We both draw. I play the piano. We watch Netflix. We binge Netflix.
I dog train.
What show do you guys? What's the latest show that you watch?
We just got done watching You.
Yeah.
Season 2. Season 2?
Yeah, we finished it.
I haven't started season 2 yet. I watched season 1, but I want to watch season 2 because
you
Chris
should.
It's great.
And
you should. Like, it gets very different. You should do.
It's good.
It's
completely
different.
changes.
Okay, good. I'm gonna watch it. I've heard a lot of good things about it. What about another show that you guys are like into?
We just started this one.
No, that one sucks so bad.
Island. I don't know if it's gonna be any good.
I was gonna watch that. Should I not?
I know you can. I mean, we're only don't listen to him. We're only one episode in.
That's the two
episodes in.
It's so B-rated.
It is B-rated.
If you're in the mood for like some stupid B-rated sci-fi, then the concept is great, but they murdered the concept.
Yeah. I just watched that.
Because
what's that?
I was just to say, like, it kind of leaves you lost at first, and you're trying to figure out what's going on. And the concept is really good. It does.
You should be careful because you're a movie spoiler. So you.
I'm not about to give it up. I just
spoil movies all the time.
It doesn't matter. He's not going to watch it now because of you, anyways. But no, it winds up. You know how like certain shows are kind of I don't want to call them low budget, but they they're B-rated. It feels that way. Yeah. It has that type of vibe, kind of. So. I don't know. That's the two shows we were watching. What were we watching before that?
We were watching Lost in Space. They were.
I finished it.
You finished it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did too. We finished the whole thing.
How'd you feel about season 2? You liked it?
I liked it.
I'm heavy into outer space.
Me too. Have you watched the show called The Expanse?
No. What's that?
Okay. I don't know if you have Amazon Prime Video.
I do. Yeah.
Dude, it's on Amazon Prime right now. There's 4 seasons of it, and if you like space shit, it's kind of like political, and they fight in space, but it's kind of like Game of Thrones, but in space. That's how I feel about it.
See, I love stuff. I loved how.
If you like Lost in Space, you would like the show. It's amazing. Okay.
Well, the thing that I liked about Lost in Space was that they used real. Like intelligence that we have in science about space and incorporated it like to how they land on a methane-based planet, and they made that play out how a methane-based planet would really be, and how they have like the binary star system that they go to, and all the facts. Even Alpha Centauri, that's a real planet. That's a real exoplanet that we know about, and it's like all those things were like legit, and I love being able to see those things that I imagine when I'm hearing scientists talk about that stuff kind of play out the way it might. That was what I loved. It was just like the imagination behind the science that's real.
Damn, dude, you're getting sciencey up in here,
Yeah.
Jared.
I love science.
Jared, I didn't know you were married to Neil deGrasse Tyson. No, I'm just kidding.
He is. You may as well put a mustache on this girl because I know my
No,
stars.
it's awesome. You're into that, actually.
I get into just about everything.
What's your favorite genre?
Like I get into. What's that?
What's your favorite genre of show to watch? What's your favorite genre? Like, what's your favorite? Like,
I get into everything. To be honest, like I really like.
Pick one.
No.
Yes.
I like everything. Like I really get into like fights and shit like that, like UFC stuff.
Fighting is not a genre.
I know it's not.
I love UFC.
I'm just saying. I'm just going across the board. I go from like stuff like that to like the sci-fi stuff, and I get into just about anything. I can really get into just about anything.
Yeah.
And I'm I don't know. I don't really have
so
a
you
genre.
like he likes rom-coms. That's
What's
his
that?
fave.
I don't know what that is.
You know what a rom-com
What's
is.
a
It's
rom-com?
your favorite.
What is it? I do not like. That's one thing I probably don't get into is like that type of shit, romantic comedy.
Loves it.
She's so full of shit.
Let me tell you right now. So Kelly went to in all throughout high school. She was she was a singer, like professionally trained.
That's
awesome.
crazy.
Graduated college with an acting degree. She loves musicals, and I absolutely hate them too.
I don't like musicals
I can't do musicals, so that's like something.
That's something we agree on. I can't do musicals.
It's good because she plays piano, so.
Yeah, I play classical piano, and I can't do it.
I like.
Yeah, me too. I love music.
I love music. Yeah.
Like, let's do a podcast. You know what I mean? Like, what?
Yeah, there's something so bad about a serious actor and they're acting out a scene, and then all of a sudden this guy's like da da da, and it like breaks out, and you're just like, what? It's just not logical. You know
how like Hugh Jackman, the guy that plays Wolverine, is in Broadway now, right? He's a big star. So it's like, what is he doing? He's like being Wolverine on Broadway. Like, I can smell him.
That's crazy. You know, that's crazy.
I know, like, Wolvie, I'm Hugh.
Right. That's nuts. I couldn't even watch it. I couldn't watch it.
I can't take it serious.
No, yeah. How do you take it seriously?
It's just not realistic.
It, so I like the Disney shit sometimes, like that's cool. So I watch that with her, but I'm usually into horror and sci-fi usually.
Yeah, I get into action stuff. I get into mystery stuff. I love mystery shit.
Yeah, me too.
I love things with fighting.
Did you watch the Haunting of Hill House or whatever that's called?
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, because I love that show, but there is a show that is similar to that show.
Yeah.
Okay, in terms of the way it's supernaturally scary.
That one was real supernatural.
Yeah. Dude, I love that. Dude, that is what freaks me out, right? Because in the Philippines, where I'm from, it's a place called Naga City. It's in a town called it's in Bicol, right? That's a place. And we sleep in the graveyard of our dead relatives for this weekend called All Souls Weekend. And it is the most, like, people are so spiritual and they're like superstitious. So that kind of stuff, like, kind of like, it's what freaked me out, is like,
I would imagine. I mean,
so no, but I love it. I love getting
freaked.
You love sleeping in graveyards?
Well, I mean, I used to do it in the Philippines.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Grandpa.
You still do it every other weekend or something? Go to the graveyard, take a nap?
When I get out of here, there's tombstones. I'm just kidding. No, but there's a show on Netflix right now. If you guys don't mind reading subtitles, there's a show called Marianne. It's French, and it's about this writer who is writing these like horror novels, and like the witch or whatever, right, is like becoming real, and dude, it's freaky as fuck, man. You guys gotta, if you like Haunting of Hill House, you will love that. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to give in to the subtitles. I don't mind reading subtitles, but Netflix only wants to recommend shows to me that are in other languages lately.
It's crazy.
So I'm just gonna bet they look good though. They really do look good.
Yeah.
I mean,
I tried to watch it in English. It was so bad, dude. It was so bad.
Oh, did you try to do the dubbed English? I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. Where it's like, how are you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I'd rather read it.
Yeah.
It's better. Yeah.
The emotions are all off.
Yeah, it's not right.
Is there a video that you guys made that you are really proud of, that you really loved making it? You think that it is a prime example of what your channel is, or? Not
really. You know what, to be honest, I feel like it's yet to be made. I feel like we have so much that I want people to see.
Deep. That was deep.
And I feel like there is like, we have like a whole, like, I don't know, just like so many things like that I think we can offer in like for video content that I think people would like. And even like with stuff like this with opinions. There's like right now, I know this is our first podcast, right? But if we had did this a few times, we'd be past this. Do you know what I mean? This is like the intro.
You guys are great at it. right now. Like,
well, I feel like this is like the icebreaker, no matter what, right?
Well, we have a slight advantage though, because something people forget in the EDC community, a lot of people and channels are singular people, and we have each other. So how am I not going to be comfortable sitting here with my husband talking? You know what I mean? That's what I'm doing right now. I mean, you're here, but you're not really here. You know what I mean? So it's not. I know some people overthink the Skyping and all that stuff, but
that hurt me a little bit. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
In my heart, so that's all that matters.
It's like, you're not really here. Dirty Asian. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, but you know what I mean. It's just some people overthink like the nervousness of it, and at the end of the day, like we have that advantage of even if we did our own podcast, like we don't necessarily have to, like eventually you'd want to spice it up, but we don't necessarily have to get a guest on just to start it. You know what I mean? Like we do, like how you were doing it with Kelly, like you have the advantage of having a person with you.
That was your best one, by the way.
That was our favorite one.
You know what's crazy is when we recorded that and I like am splicing in the clips, I was like, no one is gonna fucking like this.
That was the best one.
It was my favorite one.
I mean, the one where we talked about the movies and shit.
You guys talked all kinds of shit. The point was you stayed on topic, and there was never no time when my brain wasn't thinking about what you were saying.
Yeah.
So when you guys are talking back and forth, she's talking, so I'm thinking about what she's saying, then you're talking something about what you're saying. And it's interesting because I'm still watching. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm still listening.
Oh,
and it changes topics too. So I never got stuck on a topic and got bored with it.
And it changes topics in a way that's not regimented. So it's not like, you know, you guys probably went into it with some ideas, but then the conversation flows naturally, and that's what's so good about it. You know, instead of like, I know if I sat down and tried to do a podcast myself, I'd have my little list and I'd probably go down my list. And I don't think that I would be as good doing that on my own as I would be if we just talked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it's definitely easier when you have another person. Like right now. No, not even in person or not. Like, for example, right now.
Yeah.
We three just crossed the 1 hour mark right now.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like
I'm telling you guys, you are naturals at it. And let me tell you why I got into podcasting. Okay. If you do a podcast with video, which is what you guys would do, right? You can take the video, go into KineMaster and chop up little bits of it and put it on Instagram, which is what I'm doing.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Little clips.
Instagram growth for me was really slow, and I don't know why. I was posting pictures every day before. The only thing that I've done differently is I've been posting stories every day.
Okay.
And you know, shouting out certain like companies that, like for example, if I shout out like Best Tech on my podcast, like I look at a knife, right? And I tag them in an Instagram story, like they DM me.
Really?
Like, they'll say like, wow, what is this? Like, and I'm like, oh, it's my podcast. Cool. There's no one doing video and audio podcasts at a pretty decent level, you know, like I edit the audio and all that stuff. Right, so they're like surprised, like, what is this thing? This is not found in.
Yeah.
That's why I told Blade Banner, you guys should just do it. Also because you can chop up the 1 hour, 30-minute, 40-minute podcast, whatever, into little like 30-second to 1 minute clips.
Right. A subject that we thought was entertaining.
Yeah, in the podcast, and you can just put them, so you will have content on Instagram every day. Your Instagram is already pretty good. Like it's
yeah. I mean,
we had our Instagram growth before our YouTube growth, and we felt comfortable doing that because we kind of wanted to get a group of people and then kind of drag them over because, rightfully so, we were nervous to just put a video out there and have it get no views. I mean, no one wants to do that.
We had videos before we ever said anything on Instagram. My plan was let's get like 10 videos up. Then I'll go to Instagram and say, hey, check out our YouTube channel.
Because we had that foundation. And when you said that your Instagram growth was a little slower and you didn't know why because you were posting every day, that's what we went through at first. And the one thing that changed it, because our Instagram grew rather quick. And the thing that changed that was we communicated
with everybody.
With everyone. I'm talking like with liking everyone's pictures, going out there following people, doing a like spree here and then following someone.
It had
like
nothing to do with wanting to grow. It had everything to do.
No, it was genuine.
It had everything to do with these people are actually talking to us.
Yes,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes you'll say something and it's like, this motherfucker don't even know who I am. You know what I mean? So he obviously doesn't care if I comment. You know what I mean? Like your knife. And he's probably like, who the fuck are you? So that's the way I thought about it. But instead, it was like a genuine thing where like we, talked about stuff, talked about knives, and like we wound up like almost like growing like a family.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's so cool and so genuine and then it just wound up spreading from YouTube from Instagram to YouTube and just like connecting. And now there's a lot of people though that I found out is not on Instagram. They're on Facebook. And
so you have a face.
I do, but we don't go on.
Are you guys?
I have a personal one.
Are you guys on anything else?
Nope, not
really.
at this time.
Okay.
Because
I did see your little clip though for like was it
from
TikTok?
TikTok. Yeah.
Let
me ask you guys this, right? If you could be content creators full time and make a living, would you do it?
I'd love to.
Would you do it?
Oh my god.
You would?
I would do it, but I would probably still want to keep some sort of. I like working for Starbucks. I love coffee. I'm a certified coffee master.
I am. Well, I'm not drinking coffee right now. I'm drinking like a matcha green tea with some.
See, I know all about matcha.
Did you watch that podcast with Laird Hamilton on Joe Rogan's? The surfer dude that's like 56 years old or whatever. This is his. This is his like product or whatever. It's like a creamer that has all this healthy shit in it, and it tastes like amazing. Yeah, I just started drinking.
Awesome.
Yeah, matcha.
All right, back on topic. What did I say? Like,
you're asking about if we would be full-time content creators, and I was saying that for me personally, I do enjoy my day job, which is working at Starbucks, because I have invested time and knowledge into becoming a coffee master and all these external things, like where it's like a professional interest of mine. I would probably become a full-time content creator, but ideally I would love to still do that like one day a week just to get out of the house.
Like me, I would love to do it, but I also I'm hands-on with a lot of things, and I always did construction and grew up with a big family, and I grew up in the projects, and I grew up with so many different types of people. So like I'm a people person, so it's like I feel like I could and still entertain myself with other stuff without a problem.
You have to do more than one thing, of course. Like my brother runs a channel. He reviews tech. He's a director for like music videos. He does commercials for Subaru in Asia, in the Philippines.
Right.
So you have to do multiple things. You can't just do just YouTube. And I don't think any big YouTuber just does YouTube. But the reason why I ask, right, is you said that you're on Instagram, you're on YouTube. Do you do like Twitter? Do you do like TikTok?
No, nothing.
No, I didn't want to. I honestly didn't want to be burdened with more technology
when we're already
when it's already hard enough at this time. Like I work a lot, and what I do is on my feet and tiring, and so does he. And so it's like I have a lot to keep up with. We have a lot to keep up with at this time.
Show me what you're playing with right now.
Can I see that?
They're magnets. I saw those YouTube channels where they build all that crazy stuff with these things, and they're like the most therapeutic, fun things to play with.
You guys are just like me. Like,
look at I have all the time.
And I'm gonna
show you a couple other things really quick.
Okay? Yeah. Let's do that. Show me some stuff. All right.
Like she's just like the past couple months.
Puzzles.
Past couple months, she's been getting in like puzzles. So like this thing right here, right? It's a puzzle. Okay. And you gotta figure out how to get the ball out. Okay.
Yeah.
So like the ball comes out, and the way you gotta do it is you gotta like with this one, you gotta bang that, and let's see if I did it. Am I on the wrong? Oh, on the wrong side.
No, you're still on the wrong side.
Am I? Hold on, sorry. Okay, this one. Bang, and then bang.
No, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. You have to go this way, just like this, because this is where the pin's at.
You're doing too much.
It goes this way.
You're doing too much.
Way.
No, it doesn't.
How is that not true?
It doesn't go like that.
Yes, it does. That's exactly what I was just
You
doing.
were doing all types of bangs, and then you just whack it, and then the ball comes out.
Oh shit.
But the whole point though is there's a pin in here.
There's an internal magnet that you have to knock out of place
Yeah,
to get the ball out.
There's a pin in there and there's a magnet. Okay, so the magnet holds the pin, and you can't release this, which the pin's going through, until you hit the magnet off. And then once you hit the magnet off, the pin can slide out once you turn it. So you got to turn it double directions.
So
Now there's
crazy.
another one right here.
Let me see.
Yeah, this one is cool. This is a puzzle box. So quick backstory. There's a YouTube channel of a guy named Chris Ramsey, and he's a magician, tons and tons of followers, but he does puzzle videos. Every Wednesday he does a video of a puzzle. I started binging these puzzle videos, and I got me some puzzles. Anyway, this puzzle is just a hidden box. It doesn't look like
it looks like
much.
books.
Right, it looks like a fake book kind of, but the bottom will slide out of place, and then what happens is you're able to, if I can remember, am I upside down?
No, slide it that way.
Yeah, so you're able to slide.
You gotta slide this that way.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got to slide all these pieces out in different directions.
Then there's a key in there.
Right, and then there's a hidden key inside the puzzle. So then there's a hidden key, and then you have to now move this block. You can see it coming out, and that's the keyhole, and you can open it.
That's
and
awesome.
it's a nice box too. It's actually really cool. And my plan is to keep my magnets inside my puzzle box.
Wow.
So it all works out.
The magnets are actually, they're pretty cool.
The magnets are
you will
sweet.
figure out, you get them in hand, and you could spend an hour just messing with them because they do goofy stuff. But this puzzle is a little different. This one, you gotta try to slip the tray out. So you see the balls, they lock the bottles in place, and you gotta get these balls out of the way to slide the tray out.
Whoa.
So you're basically just sliding this tray out. This one I'm not gonna go through, but
because we don't know how to solve it.
yeah, that one. Then this one is another one. It's kind of like that last one. It's got little hidden compartments and stuff, but just goofy stuff like that is fun. These magnets though, they get so addicting. Doing weird stuff with them. I put a video up on my Instagram of me crushing magnets into the shape of a pyramid and then spinning them. And I'm just gonna say it here. Everyone believed that I was a wizard with magnets. I put the video in reverse. I built a pyramid normal. I crushed it with my hands, right? And so when I reversed the video, it looked like I was going like this and a pyramid pops out. And everyone thought I was a straight wizard. And I don't even think anyone called me out except one person. One person did,
yeah. It was like, you are a warlock. Witch.
It looked so dope, though.
It looked real.
It looked so cool.
That looked so cool.
She recorded it so many times to make it look like it was a possibility.
Yeah, it looked legit.
But you'd have to be it wasn't possible. Even if you were really paying attention.
Yeah.
But it looked really cool though.
It did.
Wow.
But no, these things are pretty interesting though.
Dude, that's amazing.
All different shapes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Show that.
But then we get into other EDC stuff, obviously flashlights and stuff.
Okay.
We got tons of O lights and stuff like that.
I'm not that deep into the lights.
I've only got the small one, and it has saved me. It has saved me. So one time I got into the shop, Ayla CBD. Shout out to Ayla CBD. Right. I get in, no one's there. Right. It's maybe 10 a.m. I have to take a leak real bad because it's an hour and 30 minutes away from where I live. I get in the bathroom, lock the door. Dude, the lights just go out.
Yeah.
Damn.
I have to pee so bad.
Right.
So I in my pocket sheath, I had an Olight, the mini one.
Yeah.
I forgot which model it is.
Probably
And I just,
SR,
and I just took a leak. I just put it somewhere. Yeah, and it saved me, bro. So I'm I believe wholeheartedly that you should have at least a mini one. Just
I believe in having them. I'm just not obsessed with collecting them. But I did just buy one of the the same little ones, the keychain ones. They give them away for free a lot. And I got him a bigger Olight for Christmas. And it came,
SR2, the bigger one.
Yeah,
and I like those. I like those.
Yeah, and it came with a little green version of that same keychain light that they always give away. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's green. Neve's Knives is green. That's cool. Yeah. And I turn this thing on, and it's a black light.
What?
It came with a black light. It was so cool. I started
Oh,
shining
you're talking
it.
about the little one, yeah.
Yeah, I started shining it all over everything.
What do you mean it's
really-
black light? Like it's an actual black light?
It's a black
Yeah,
light.
it's a black light,
Like
yeah.
it shines perfect.
So you can use it, like, say, I don't
So
know,
you
to
can like
find
do
whatever.
CSI work with it and shit?
Yeah,
Like,
I wanted
fuck
to
you.
buy some luminol. I was getting ready to. I was gonna say something nasty. I won't say it.
We found out how this our bed was. No, but I'm really into them because, like, I grew up using like lights like constantly, like with work, construction
right?
work. Yeah, doing like literally saving my life and always needing them and like taking them out of my pocket, clicking them on my hat, and having to use my hands.
Yeah.
And then growing up like in bad areas and stuff, I remember a handful of times where like I've actually used them like for self-defense.
Yeah, it actually deters people right away when you got not just that, but like I think when you just see something really bright and it's dark,
no, if we're in the dark,
people get out right away. You know,
if we're in the dark, and I shine 1,500 lumens in your fucking eyes,
dude,
you can't see for 30 seconds. So now, like, technically, I've already won the fight.
Well, you don't know that there's not a gun or a weapon behind that light, so you're gonna leave.
Yeah.
You know, you're not gonna stick around and find out what's behind the light.
I usually don't. You know what I mean? I mean, my tough guy days are over. Like I am like
You're
almost
saving your last fight for a
you know,
I see.
You know, like, but I do believe that because when you shine a light, like, I mean, cops do it all the time.
I did it back to cops.
You go like this, and you're like, oh shit, what the fuck?
Yeah, I've done it back to cops for them blinding me. Like,
they blind you and you're like, yeah, motherfucker.
And I got a more powerful light. I love when
but you guys can do that. You guys are white. Like, as a minority, I would get shot right away.
Listen, I grew up in the projects. I was the minority.
They would be like, hey.
I grew up as the minority.
Green card. Go get him. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm playing.
I grew up in a neighborhood where I was the minority, and so like the only reason why you'd be there is to buy drugs. You know, and I grew up as the little white boy, you know, shit like that, and that's just how, you know, like whatever, it doesn't matter. But so like, you know, I got like different, you know, like views on stuff like that. With my views on life and the world and stuff like that, it's so like crisscrossed. You know what I mean? Because
are you like more centrist in nature, where you kind of like want to observe and then make a decision and not be on any sides? Really, is that what you mean?
I don't pick a side. I don't pick a side with anything because I've been down the middle my whole life. I've been on both sides. I have different views on both sides, so I can't pick a side because I agree with some things on one side, agree with other things on another side, and then also even if my views are one way, I might understand the other way. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it's hard to say. And I don't think that, I mean, people that like generalize, like I'm this way, it's like, well, then you haven't been through enough shit. You know what I mean? Because the other side has their views and they wouldn't have them.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, I try to look at things from like every perspective.
A broad perspective. Yeah.
Now I'm going to ask you guys, I was talking about the Apex pass around earlier. I was telling Blade Banter last night, I was like, hey, I'm going to have Neeve's knives on tomorrow, right? Like both of them, right? And
which one?
Yeah. So, you know, I was like, you know, why are they not in the Apex pass around group? Right.
I mean,
would you guys be interested in that?
Well, I mean, we're offended, you know.
You guys know what it is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We hear about it all the time.
So this,
it's a secret
it's your
club.
secret cult.
It's not. So
you know
this
more
is
about the cult. I mean, everybody knows about the secret cult.
EDC
you know?
Illuminati. Just kidding.
I was just about to throw you an Illuminati.
I know. It's like you gotta do. I'll do the from. You ever watch that show, The Watchmen, on HBO?
Yeah,
they do the Cyclops. I was about to do. No. So the way it works is, and Blade Banner has done such an amazing job just getting companies on board. Because when he first approached me, right, I was thinking that it was gonna be because first of all, when he first DM'd me on Instagram, I was on my way to work. I was like rushing out. And I thought he was this other guy. Like I didn't look at the name. So he was like, hey, do you want to be part of this group that reviews knives for companies? And I was thinking like, oh, yeah, that's awesome. Like I'm not going to do like Ganzos. I'm not going to do clones, right? Because I thought that's what it was going to be. And he was like, oh, let me give you a list of who we work with. And it was like We Knives. They work with Mass Drop. Like everybody, bro. Kaiser. Like, and I was like, what? Best sex.
Of course I will.
I was like, and then I looked at the name. I was like, oh my god, this is Blade Banner. You know, automatically, like, you know, in Asian culture, you give a lot of respect to your older.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, thank you. I'll join your group. Like, no way, bro. But anyway, like the reason why I bring it up is I was telling Blade Banter, I was like, look, I'm really gonna get to know them tomorrow because we're gonna talk for probably over an hour.
Right.
And I did the same thing with Mr. Old Man.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched the whole thing.
I got them in. I got Daily Hair Solutions in. I think you guys should. You guys should be in it, man.
Wait. So you're like the Apex pass around bouncer. You're like the doorman who lets people in. You're like, yeah, you could pass.
Well, anybody could recommend people.
Okay.
Anybody could recommend people, but it's a good way to get knives that you may not be buying or maybe want to try out.
Yeah.
It helps the company
find out if you want it. Find out if you want it.
Also, like if you have a cool that no one's reviewed and you have a review of it, you think it's cool, you want to pass it along and have us check it out. I've done that.
The only problem I think with it, and I'm going to say this, and I know some people might be offended by this. The only problem with I think it is that I watch it go through. Like I'll watch the one channel review the knife, right? And then I know tomorrow or the next day, this guy's going to review it, right? Then the other guy. And so I'll watch for an entire week a Benchmade bug out. You know what I mean? And it's like I've watched 5 reviews on that same damn bug out. And so that's the only thing that kind of gets, and you know, I'm just talking shit, obviously, because that video will last forever, right? With that channel. So I'm just talking shit right now, and I would love to do that.
But here's the thing, right?
But it does kind of get.
Here's the thing, though. Like people, let's say they watched my review or video of it or whatever.
Yeah.
They want to see Jared and Kara talk about it. That's
I know. I know. I do the same thing.
It's for the viewers. You know what I mean?
I watch all them damn videos of the same. I do. I can't help it because I start thinking about it like, well, I wonder if he doesn't like the same thing.
Bro,
because I found stuff where people may say like they don't like something about a knife, and I get it in my hand, and I'm like, I love that about it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I've done that too. Yeah, or I hate knives like everyone loves. Like when I first held the Sabenza.
Yeah, I loved it. She hated it.
Which Sabenza did you? The 20.
Okay, so I've messed with 2. I've messed with 8 because I am technically left-handed, although I have just gotten accustomed to right-handed knives because I don't want to be limited. So I've held a left-handed small 21 Insigno blade, and then I held just a regular standard Sabenza 21, the large version. My problem with them is a few things. One is the texture. I hate powdery finishes. Can't handle it.
I love it.
Cannot handle it.
I love the feeling.
I can't. It makes me cringe. And I know there's other people. Some people just, the powdery thing I can't do. I have naturally dry hands. There's a lot of things happening and I don't like it. And I also just, the action is not what I expected. The way, and I think it probably got overly hyped. And overhyping is one of the worst things you can do for a product because it makes it disappointing when you get it, when you have this image in your head of what it was going to be. And I knew it wasn't like a flicky, drop, shutty, crazy. Like, I knew that's not what it was. I wasn't expecting that. I don't know what I was expecting, but
when you hold enough knives on, you watch enough videos, you realize the lingo and how they talk. I knew exactly what to expect.
But you explained it to me in layman's terms, even when I wasn't that deep into the game, and I understood. I just don't like it. And I mean,
sometimes it's for people, some knives aren't. And she didn't like it. I love it.
I would like to use it. I would like to.
And you know what? And that's where the Sabenza shines.
Yeah, it's
when you're using it because of the blade shape and the fact that you can keep continuing to sharpen it because of the hollow grind. And that blade shape is
stuff is great.
But it was made by a guy who was making it for use. He
made the frame lock, right?
Yeah.
He
made the titanium frame lock.
I mean, that's fucking crazy.
I know, right?
Like, what?
Made the frame lock.
Right.
Like, everything is a frame lock. Every titanium folder is a frame lock.
He also made S35.
Yeah, 35VN. He helped Crucible make S35VN,
Yeah, I mean, come on.
That's every knife ever. All frame locks in S35. It's like he invented
Isn't it like when you see a knife as S35 and you're like, oh, I feel good about this?
Yeah. It's gotta be
It's
pretty
so
good.
stupid. It really is stupid though, because I remember when I first got into knives, I immediately got biased to certain steels because of
Snobby right away.
him talking about it.
Snobby right away.
Immediately, yeah. And I would
S30. I need S35.
Well, I used to really like 8CR13 MOB. I used to love it. I thought it was good because it was on my first Kershaw and I liked it. And then all of a sudden I only wanted D2. And now when I look at D2, I'm like, God, can they just not use something better for my $30 besides D2?
Even though like last year,
right now,
everybody was saying like, why don't they just use D2? These companies are using D2 for $25-$30. Why are these guys charging $40 for 8CR?
Yeah.
But now it's getting to the time where we're realizing
everything's D2 right now.
Yeah.
And D2 is not that great. You know, like
well, for corrosion and all that.
Don't get me wrong. For a certain price, it's wonderful. I love seeing it on 20, 30, even $40, $50 knives. But they can get for the exact same price. You can use 14C28N.
Yeah, I like that.
I like 14C28N.
That's what I would, or like M690.
Right?
Yeah.
M690. Yes, I like that too.
12C27, even the 9CRs. Those, literally in the cut tests, they blow D2 out of the water. They really do. And they're more stain resistant. They're easier to sharpen. And they beat D2. So the thing with D2 is
I think it depends on the company though, because I have the Civivi Elementum, which I carry very frequently.
I love the Elementum.
And that D2 will last me all week, slicing and dicing, chopping. I feel like I could chop through bone and it would retain its edge.
I'm sure most people that will listen to this, or even you probably know it's like D2. The problem with it is that when they're cooking it, or when they're cooking it and they're putting the heat treatment on there, there's a certain temperature that they have to hit and they have to get it out, and then they have to cool it at a certain rate, and it's a lot harder to do than certain steels. So like 14C28N, that was made for cutlery, right? So and because it's so easy to do, like S35, it's really easy. It's hard to fuck up. You know what I mean? D2 is easy to fuck up. Yeah. So it winds up making it where it's like that same thing with M390. M390 is amazing when it's done right.
Yeah.
D2 is amazing when it's done right.
That's why Medford uses D2 to this day, and he sticks by it because he says that they know how to do it properly.
They use other stuff too, though.
I know, but
they will use D2. He loves D2.
Yeah.
But it has to be done right though. But you know,
I feel like such a nerd when I talk about steel. What am I talking about right now?
We're talking about.
No, it's funny. I could only talk about this stuff with you guys, obviously, right? like I was flicking a Spyderco in the shop, and like one of the owners, my brother's partner was like, "Are you gonna use that on somebody?" I'm like, "No, I cut cardboard boxes with it, man."
Right. You gotta realize it's a tool. It's a tool.
Yeah.
First, anything can be used as self-defense.
What'd you guys carry today?
I actually carried the 8th Biblio today. I've been carrying it for the past week.
That knife is a big fucking disappointment to me.
I love it.
It was supposed to be mine. It was failing on us. The lockup was so early that it was failing originally before it started to break in.
Now it's broken. Now it's great.
It's not what I imagined. I wound up getting a honey badger and liked that better. So
the thing is the D10's really strong. So to middle finger flick it, now you can do it. In the beginning, it was nearly impossible. Like literally, you'd be struggling trying to get. You couldn't get thumb flicking though. It was really easy. Now it's broken and you can middle finger it. It sounds kind of nasty.
Depending on who you are.
But you can, now it's a lot easier. Now you can use it, but it took a long time to break in. And a lot of other people said the same thing. I heard the first batch that came out had really weak D10s. People complained. So then they made it really strong. And then people were complaining that it was too strong. And I love it now though, because once you get it right,
you gotta break it in.
You break it in, and then you
but listen though, it is broken in. It is broken in at this time, and I'm telling you right now, I'm not bad at handling knives. If you've seen any of our videos, I can middle finger flick things. I'm not saying I don't mess up here and there, but I can do it. Now I have the most ridiculous time with. Of course I did. Just fuck it. That was so
What did
easy.
you carry
Why
today?
was that
I
so
told you
easy?
it's broken.
Kara, what did you carry today?
What'd you carry?
I actually carried the Elementum, but it was a mistake because that's my work knife, and I didn't work today. I was really upset that I carried a work knife today.
Yeah.
So I carried that, but I meant to carry this, which is the Kaiser Yorkie, which I love.
Nice.
Sasha 23
Who did
that finish.
Oh, he
Yeah,
did
look at this
yeah,
anno.
amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if that's even clear, but
I know. I know that anno. There are people that are doing that style of anno a lot right now.
Yeah.
Sasa is one of them. Anything knife related on Instagram is doing it. He was Yo, he's a cool dude. He was like, yo, send me something. I want to do one, like it's on the house or whatever.
Yeah.
This is what I carried today. Pretty simple, just the steel wheel.
That's like the Shala kinda.
It looks just like the Shala except for the blade
looks
shape.
like Spider-Man.
Which one do you like better?
Thing, right? I'm gonna go with the Shala probably because it's just small.
I think most people will.
But here's the thing, right? Like, do you guys? I asked Blade Banner the same thing. Do you guys like the direction the steel was going lately? They're doing more like fashion-friendly, like knives.
I like fashion-friendly.
When I put this on Twitter, most people on my Twitter are like young, urban, like gamer, anime type people.
Yeah.
They were like, "Yo, I want to rock that with my kicks and shit." Like, it's like fashion.
Yeah.
And I like what they've been doing. I like this sort of new color scheme. They're brighter colors, kind of like what ZT was in the beginning.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I do.
I miss that ZT. The back of the day. How do you guys feel about it?
My heart originally will always. I love raw titanium. I love the way steel on steel because I like tools, right? I love tools, and I like the way how it looks like a precision tool. It looks like a high-end precision tool. That doesn't mean that I don't like to match my kicks with my knife and my shirt, and so I like, I love doing it, but that's what I like the most.
Yeah.
But I still like.
Well, yeah, you pick that over most things.
Yeah, I will pick that over most things.
What is that?
I still love
what is that?
Nice.
The one that you just had?
Oh, this was a Kaiser. What's it called?
Oh, that's called the Kaiser Guru.
Oh, the Guru.
It feels a lot like a Sabenza.
Yeah, I know. I don't like the finish on that one either. But I see my thing with the whole aesthetic part of knives is that the first thing when you're like buying a knife online is you see what it looks like. You don't get to feel it till you get it. So you better damn sure like the way it looks. That's a huge part of the decision to purchase it. Like, you could talk all the shit you want about steel and performance, but you have to like the way it looks to a certain extent.
Otherwise you won't carry it.
Especially when you're dropping, hundreds of dollars on it. And my thing with it is I like the colors and all that stuff, but I don't really like it when it's done in FRN because it starts to look like a toy. I had a hard time even getting over the blue bug out until I realized why that lightweight material was so good in sweatpants or whatever. So then I understood the function after I got it and began to like it. But initially, I'm like, that looks like a toy, So to me, I like colored metals better than I do the colored FRN and G10. I can handle colored micarta a lot better. Like, there's like a sophisticated way to do color. You know what I mean?
I think micarta looks pretty classy too.
Oh,
I love micarta.
Yeah, micarta looks classy.
Can we shout somebody out really quick? Somebody sent us some micarta rings.
Okay. What's the channel or?
Okay, so what's his name?
It's Appalachian EDC.
Yeah. Okay.
One of our friends got him to kind of Secret Santa us for Christmas. I don't have mine on at this moment because I got my bling on. But he makes rings out of knife materials, and I have the micarta. Yeah. I have them. He sent us each a micarta one, and it is so comfortable.
It is.
I can't believe how comfortable it is, and he polishes them. They don't look like raw micarta.
No, they don't feel it.
But I bet he would do that if you wanted to.
It's so soft. Like when you slip it on, it's so comfortable.
Yeah,
and it's a comfort ring.
I'll splice his channel name and stuff like that, and I'll put it in the description.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's actually that one right there is the Appalachian EDC. That's his Instagram. I'll PM you the actual.
Yeah, and then we'll put whatever. It's funny that you mentioned rings, actually. That was one of the companies that approached us, which was a pretty big company called Groove Life. They do like silicone bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hit us up, the Apex Pass round, and gave everyone free shit.
That's awesome.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, but that's what I mean. Like, if you guys are interested in doing that, a lot of cool stuff like that happens. Also, this is another cool thing. So, my time that I've been in the Apex Fast Round group, at the end of certain knives run throughout the reviewers, sometimes the company is like, I want you guys to keep it, and you raffle it between the people who did content for the knife.
Right.
I've won 2 knives already. I won a Shaman.
That's
And
awesome.
I QFP Penguin. I think Metal Complex won the Knock Knives MT-03, which is kind of like the Spidey Chef. It's so sick, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no,
Dude,
that's
that's
really cool.
another cool thing is even though I do know what you're talking about with like, oh, Zach just reviewed a bug out. Then the next day, like everyone's reviewing. I mean,
You know what?
Right
though?
down
But
the
see,
line.
here's the thing,
Yeah.
though, is and this is my thing every time we're talking about doing a knife review, is I always think that there's something you can do besides a review with a knife that still displays the qualities of that knife. So, like, okay, if, you know, you give us a Kaiser Yorkie, for instance, to review, you know, I don't have to do a standard vanilla review. I could do a day in the life of the Kaiser Yorkie at work.
yeah.
Bam.
Right.
That's badass. And you get to actually see me use it. And that's way
Yep.
more interesting and visually appealing than this is the Kaiser Yorkie. It's titanium and it's small. You know what I mean?
I feel like that's what I sound like when I review knives.
I like how big.
Fish paws. It's good. That's usually.
Dude, I laugh
love
my
it.
ass off, but you
Yes.
know, like the HCR 13 MOV. Shout
Dude,
out to HCR 13.
I
The little
need-
guy will run by.
People have asked me like, "Hey, you said you were gonna make HCR 13 MOV shirts. Like, when are you gonna make?"
I love that though. See,
You
your
should.
shit's so good.
You should.
I love it.
That'd be hilarious.
Before we close the episode out, right? Is there anything that you would want to plug? Is there any upcoming stuff, or maybe where can people find you? What do you want people to pay attention to so that we can display it here?
Yeah, I want to shout out to Everyday City Carry.
Oh,
Come out.
Who
He's a badass
who's
dude.
that guy?
Love-
Okay, no.
Love what he does, and
Yeah.
everybody should be subbed to him on Instagram
thank
and
you
YouTube.
so much, man. How about you guys? Where can they find you on Instagram? Neve's Knives,
So,
right?
Yeah,
Yep.
we're just Neve's Knives. You know, that's our name on everything. That's our name on our Patreon. That's our name on which we just started.
We
by
just
the way.
started a Patreon.
What do you guys do on Patreon? Is it like a special thing?
Nothing right
Nothing.
now.
Okay.
Absolutely
thing.
nothing. Some people
would-
do stuff on it.
I was
We
thinking
just
about what to
started.
do. I was thinking
We
about what to do. I was
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we do content, so
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else we can really do
Yeah.
besides like
I-
give away stuff. To
so
them.
like I pay attention to what other YouTubers like are doing, right? Like
Yeah.
there's this really funny channel that reviews like anime named Scamboli, and what he was doing was if you donate to his Patreon, like he draws shit for you, but like really badly. Like, you know, like Birdshot will send you
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
no, like really
That's
badly.
awesome.
But what ended up happening is he got really good at it. So they started to become peers. And he's a pretty big channel. I think he's like 70,000.
Oh wow! Yeah, it's
No,
awesome.
he's great.
Good
It's
for
like
him. Good for him.
very well edited. It's very, very good.
That's great.
But I mean, I was thinking, well, what should I do? I was like, oh, I will edit a video for you or something. Like, I don't know. I
Right.
don't know what to
Something,
do.
yeah.
I want to.
That could
I don't
be
have.
dangerous.
Yeah, that could be very dangerous.
I know.
Next thing you know,
Imagine.
you got
That was
10,000
okay. See, that
videos
was
a
the
day.
thing that I was worried about. Is like I want to offer something that I can fulfill because
Yeah.
I don't want to say weekly giveaways or something, and then I go broke that week and
Yeah.
cannot afford. You know,
Right.
and
I
I know in the
don't
knife
think you should
community
do
there's help,
giveaways.
but
It should be like
Yeah.
content based or something.
yes, and
Yeah.
I think I don't think it's a bad idea for like the tier because you set up the different monetary tiers. So for
Yeah.
the tier of people who are $25 and above, to do a giveaway once a month for that group or once every 6 months for that particular tier, like you want to offer different things for the different tiers so that there's incentive to donate more. But for us right now, we just have it set up where it's like, you know, right now it's just like I don't even know what it says.
Like
I
to
don't know
support the
either.
channel.
But we don't
probably,
want-
It's
right?
just standard right now. It's
Yeah.
just standard. Like we're accepting donations. It's Neve's
Yeah.
Knives is the
If
Patreon.
you want to help us, that'd be great. But we
Yeah.
don't
You guys,
want to also
you guys
say,
have footage that you cut out that's like
Yeah.
Like it's just parts that went really badly in a review.
Well, the kind of
maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Maybe you keep that and you only show Patreon people.
That's not a bad
That's
idea.
like
good.
bloopers, like bloopers or something.
Yeah,
Because I don't want
bloopers.
to.
That's good.
Bloopers is
Yeah.
really good. That's a good
For you
idea.
guys,
don't
I
wanna-
think people would love that. Like your
I
viewers
think
would
yeah.
love
too.
it.
Would too. I don't want to charge people like some people say, like, well, you know, like you can get into conversations and stuff like that. And I don't want to feel like I charge people to communicate or talk with them.
Not for communication.
No,
No,
right,
The
and that's what I
content
mean,
is
like-
different.
When
Content
Yeah,
you like
is
little
yeah.
content. I mean, like if it's the bloopers, that's actually hilarious.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
people would love that
But
because not everyone gets to see it. You know what I
We
mean?
don't
It's a special
have, right
thing.
now, we don't have too much of it though because we show pretty much everything. We have a
Yeah.
couple bloopers. Like sometimes we put them in our videos. Just
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
I
it's
leave them.
funny.
I leave them in a lot. I do leave them in a lot, just to break it up, break up the, just the mundaneness of it sometimes. But yeah,
But, yeah,
So,
we
yeah,
have to
and
figure
then-
something out though.
and then
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
again, we're literally just on YouTube and Instagram, both Neeves Knives, and then the Patreon. And I think that's really it. We are not like on any other platforms, but
We should be though.
our Instagram is the place that we communicate. We answer all our comments on YouTube for
Everything.
sure, but we
No
have,
matter what.
I mean, I can't tell you how many like group private messages I've been sucked into, and I really try to keep up with those things. So like if you want to communicate with us, Instagram is a better place, especially the DMs. Like I always, between the both of us, we check those.
Who handles the social media more?
Both
like
of us.
DMing? Both of you?
He probably handles
I never know
like,
who it is, so I'm like,
Well,
hey guys. I'm like, I usually, hey,
Everybody
Yeah.
does that. Usually, it depends. But usually, it's me when it comes to Instagram and YouTube, especially YouTube comments. But she'll usually.
I'm
put
usually
her
the
initials.
private messenger
Yeah.
though. Like usually,
Okay.
like, if you DM us, if you're like in a group chat in the private messages or just private messaging, like DMing us directly, it's usually me that answers. But we
A lot of times it's me though.
it's
too.
kind of both of us
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
There's certain people who I tend to communicate more
Yeah.
with, and certain people he tends to communicate.
And then there's
more
some
with.
it's both of us.
Yeah, and then there's some that it's both. It's just like, sometimes like you might vibe with somebody in a way that it's like you whatever, you have this whole long conversation you've had, and then now it's like I answer that person because I
Hey.
initially answered them.
you
I don't
guys
know,
know what
it's-
we should do? I just want to tell you guys right now, we already did an hour 40 minutes. You know what we
Oh,
should do?
shit.
I think no, it's amazing. People are gonna love it. But you know what we should
Yeah, it's
do?
awesome.
I should have Kelly on here next time, and then
Yeah.
we can do
Yes.
like.
I
it'll
thought
be
you were
so-
gonna.
I for a second because Kelly has like work and shit tomorrow.
Of course. Right.
She has to
She
do
has a life.
personal training stuff and getting after
Right.
it. Not like us degenerates. No, I'm kidding.
She's got
But,
a life,
I think that would be kind of cool. You know what I
I
mean?
think so too.
Yeah,
Dude, did an hour and 41 minutes.
That's crazy.
and it was so fast.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
I
I
could
had some
do
fun.
this forever.
I know.
We do have to end it though.
Yeah,
I
no,
do
of
have
course.
work
This is
tomorrow.
a too long of a video, probably.
I-
even close.
No. Listen. That's one thing that I've learned. Okay, is that even with the stuff I did with Zach, Mr. Oldman, Blade Banner, I'm gonna be able to chop this video into so many little bits that I will have
Yeah.
content on Instagram stories for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Listen, let me say
What?
something though, really quick before we hang up. Next time we do one, because we definitely got to do this again.
We will.
We,
100%.
since now we've broken the ice,
Yeah.
right? Because so now we don't have to go back on these subjects. We can
Yeah.
start going deep into like other stuff that we
Yeah.
can talk about, and like go on to conversations
Yeah.
about stuff, and like more personal stuff to
Yeah.
whatever the hell's going on in the world to who knows,
Yeah.
like whatever. I don't give a
What
shit.
it's for, dude. We literally covered like a wide range of stuff, and I think
Yeah.
that people, are gonna get to know you even better, even me,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
podcast. Yeah. So, man, thank you guys for doing this, man. It was
No, thank
really
you, man.
amazing.
Yeah, it was
This
super
is the
fun.
Appreciate
longest, smoothest podcast I've ever done. No, it's been super smooth. The energy
awesome.
the energy has been good the whole time. And I just really want to thank you guys. This was amazing. Follow Neeves Knives on Instagram. Follow Neeves Knives on YouTube. And I hope you guys had a great time. Much love to everybody.
Yeah.
This is
Yes.
your boy
Thank
Neeve
you.
YC. It's me, Ray, and this is the EDCCP saying peace.
Bang! Neeve's knives!
Yo, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that bell icon so we can squad up in the comments.